Well, today's the first day of school for about 300,000 CPS students, but budget issues are still a big focus for administrators.
The district is facing a huge deficit. And
why is it so low? Hold on, let me see something.
Don't take on big new loans and protect classrooms. That is what Chicago public school leaders heard from parents, and that is what drove tough decisions in their just released budget proposal.
But as political reporter Chris Ty tells us, letting go of some janitors, crossing guards, and cafeteria staff is just the beginning. Some big help from City Hall is now required to make up a $734 million deficit.
This just feels like bizarro land to me.
It's now up to Chicago's new 21-person school board to approve, reject, or modify this proposed budget delivered today. It attempts to tackle the district's $734 million deficit with massive operational cuts at CPS central offices. They'll refinance huge debt district-wide and bank on $379 million from city TIF surpluses. That's tax money raised from revitalizing blighted areas that require city council approval.
In what political...
So think about this for a second, y'all. I want y'all to really take into consideration. I'm going to replay everything that they're saying that they're trying to do in order to plug this $734 million budget deficit. This video was released 9 days ago, okay? Just 2 days ago, they said that, yo, ain't no help coming, whatever, so on and so forth. Again, remember, $734 million budget deficit, that's just for this year. That does not account for next year. $734 million budget deficit, that is just for this year. That is not for next year, the year after. And that's what I keep trying to help people to understand, that from a business perspective, y'all politicians are robbing y'all. They absolutely are robbing y'all. Y'all are paying some of the craziest taxes in the state, and y'all got no representation. And maybe y'all will start looking at it a little bit differently when they start to close y'all schools and you got no representation for your children, and they start cutting the teachers and they start having 64-person classes over in Chicago. What I'm trying to tell you is that when you start to look at this holistically, that let's take, for example, the 1.2 to 1.6 projected budget deficit that they're trying to solve for coming next year, right? Let's look at it from that lens alone, and that lens only. All right, you with me? Last year, it was 930 something million, 938, 934, 946. I don't know. It was crazy. The year before that, they was using COVID money to plug the funds. So it was only at 100 or something. But when they had to basically go back to pre-COVID planning, meaning that they wasn't getting COVID funds from the United States of America in order to make sure that they plug their budget deficit, now they have to actually put boots to the ground and manage it, right? Right? So, okay, cool. Let's say, for example, that you plug the budget deficit this year. Next year, you're still facing the same problem. You're facing the same problem next year. So when you're talking about the school $734 million budget deficit, guess what? Even if you solve for it this year, you're still going to be dealing with a mismanagement of government funds next year. This is what the people of Chicago have to look forward to, is what I'm saying. You guys have been getting finessed for the longest. And now they've resorted to what? Begging. Because Brandon Johnson, the school board, your aldermen, when I tell you that there is a impending bankruptcy that is going to swoop down on your city like never before, you guys have an impending bankruptcy that is going to swoop down on the city, and JB Pritzker, he's going to save himself. He's not saving y'all. JB Pritzker is going to save himself because he cares more about his political standing and the possibility of running for president of the United States of America than he does about your children. So while you get mad at me for bringing visibility to it, I'm telling you that you guys should have been proactive years ago before Lori Lightfoot got into office, when I told y'all should have been voting for a businessman to fix y'all budget instead of voting for Lori Lightfoot and Brandon Johnson and JB Pritzker to come in and fuck up y'all city and y'all state. So guess who's going to suffer as a result of it? Because again, I told y'all, we've been through this before. I went through it here in Detroit. Y'all are the ones that's going to suffer from it. I bring visibility to it so that you can do something about it. You say you don't give a fuck. Y'all know what y'all told me? It don't matter if I vote or not. Okay, well then your children are going to be the ones that suffer from it. Your kids are going to be dumb, out of school, can't count, can't read, depending on the fucking device in order for them to be able to make sense of some shit. They're not even going to be able to get jobs, do riddles. Nigga, fuck them getting the jobs of the future. You got to worry about whether or not they can count.
Reality world, do we believe that a city council that does not like to give up their TIF money anyway, that we're going to get 26 votes to give us $379 million?
Not in the plan was the controversial short-term high-interest loan Mayor Johnson had pushed so hard for, it led to the ouster of former CPS CEO Pedro Martinez.
Look, they mortgaging y'all future again. Brandon Johnson was pushing for a high-interest loan to try to cover the deficit, and y'all were going to be basically paying more. Bro, this is so bad. Of all of the stories that I've done today, the shooting at the hospital, the DC, all of this shit, bro, y'all don't realize how bad that this is. You don't realize how horrible this is. Not a businessman. This is not a person that understands personal financing, budgeting, and managing correctly. This is a person that is going to destroy your city for years to come, bro. Years to come. He is pushing so hard that he actually ousted and fired some of the very people that was able to push back against him and saying, hey, listen, this don't make sense fiscally, bro.
Pressure that also led to the resignation of all school board members last fall.
Held the line on the pressure campaign from City Hall.
Joe Ferguson credits Johnson's hand-picked interim CEO at CPS, Macklin King, who yesterday told us how she felt in these final 24 hours.
Very queasy and anxious, and these questions don't help.
She wants this job.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion at work, guys. Let's push the white man out. Let's push out all of the school board members. Let's put in another young lady that looks like us. Definitely should make sure that representation and is pertinent. It's excommunicative and pertinent that we have representation inside of our schools from for children that represent their identity. And when they see other people, specifically women and women of color, that is overseeing the budget and is ensuring that their education and school lunches are provided, that it looks like them. It looks like them. It talks like them. It walks like them. It comes from where they're coming from. And it is also important that we go and we make sure that we reach out to our other churches and archdioceses for candidates that are vetted that can come into the school system and also show community involvement. And crime is at a 30-year low. Crime is at a 30-year low. What is this authoritarianism coming from the Trump administration saying that we don't know what we're doing? We know exactly what we're doing. We know exactly what we're doing. And anything outside of that, if you don't come in with more federal dollars to help this diversity, equity, and inclusion situation, then it's important for you to stay out of our hair. Stay out of here.
final 24 hours.
Very queasy and anxious, and these questions don't help.
She wants this job permanently. She has made hard decisions that aren't going to be happy ones for the people who will decide whether she gets the job permanently. So a profile in courage, at least to this extent.
Ferguson gives the proposed budget a B and says most CPS families will feel cuts on the margins, but not where it matters most, in the classroom.
Most people can rest assured that the thing that they send their children to school for has been protected here.
This is not the end of the line, however. There are public hearings on this proposed budget next week. The following week, the full board has to approve it. Remember, that's 21 people, and a majority is needed. At CPS.
So, a lot of what they were banking on in these last and final days was also the Trump administration. So eventually they want, not the Trump administration, I'm sorry. They were reaching out to J.B. Pritzker, right? And they were reaching out to J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois, to say that we actually need your help and we want you to plug this budget deficit. And you need to send more money, more taxpayer money from all of the people in Illinois over to here, over to Chicago, to ensure that our children has the ability to fill these budget gaps that the city is not managing effectively. And this is what J.B. Pritzker had to say.
I am certain that the governor didn't say no. He said, hold on.
Listen, look at the signs, y'all. Look at the signs. Let's use other people's money to fund our schools in the mismanagement of our budget from the people that were hired to manage it effectively. They have, this is printed out. Millionaires can afford to fully fund all schools. If this is not the dumbest thing that I've ever seen in my entire life, they are holding up signs saying we want to take money from other people. This has never worked. This has never, ever, ever worked. Ever worked, ever. If you work for city government, if you work for state government, if you work for Chicago Public Schools, if you are a property owner, you should be very, 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 very scared right now.
Wait a minute. Let me figure this out.
Well, you heard her. That's Stacey Davis Gates, the head of the Chicago Teachers Union, and they're rallying after Governor Pritzker dumped cold water on the idea that state lawmakers might come to the rescue on Chicago Public Schools' financial woes. The CPS board has to vote on a budget that closes a $734 million deficit by next week.
If a budget isn't reached, schools could shut down. Teachers rallied outside Ford Dearborn Elementary. That's on the south side. Already the district has announced layoffs and cut hot meals. Union leaders say this amplifying federal cuts from the Trump administration. And now they are demanding the blue state.
They got the kids holding signs that say, run that money. They got the babies out there.
Of Illinois pay what it owes.
This school, all of the schools in the city of Chicago are owed $1.6 billion. That creates chaos every summer. It begins in the spring with teachers being laid off, with paraprofessionals being laid off, with special education assistants and crossing guards being laid off.
Listen, bro, it's over. It's over. You are watching and witnessing the real-time collapse of a city. It is imploding from the inside out. The city is imploding from the inside out. The governor said, fuck you. The governor said, no, nigga. No, I don't care what's happening with your kids. I don't care how you feel about me. I don't care how much you think money out my family got. The answer is no. Pritzker, this guy right here that's on the bottom of your screen said no. No more money for you niggas. Huh? So you facing a $1.6 billion budget deficit with your city. You're facing a $734 million budget deficit with your schools. You can't feed them hot lunches. Teachers are going to have to get laid off. Classroom sizes are ballooning. Schools is going to be shutting down. People are not going to know what to do. City's budget is going to be trash. Down 2,000 police officers. Migrant shelters still being funded. And you, my pro-black brother, my community of brothers, my homeboys, my sisters, peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism. If you want to know what systematically being destroyed from the inside out looks like, look no further than your blue cities. Look no further than your blue governors. Look no further than your aldermen. Look no further than your mayor. Look no further than yourselves that voted for this nonsense to be inside of your cities in the first place. You voted for it. You argue with me and said that voting don't matter. And so you let 16% of the population determine the course of 100% of the city. And this is why you are in the situation that you're in. Peace and Pan-Africanism. Peace and Pan-Africanism. Maybe Mayor Johnson will start doing $500 dinners for the ladies to help fund the school board. Who knows what we can get out of that? Peace and Pan-Africanism. $500 dinners, $1,000 dinners to sit with the mayor so that we can then fund this initiative. So that we can fund this initiative. Maybe y'all can do GoFundMes and catfish fish fries. You know, the ones that y'all would usually do for the funerals, but you can do it for the children, for the cheering. And y'all know y'all ain't smart enough to teach the kids. Keep on talking about, oh, I'm going to pull my kid out. We going to homeschool them. No, you're not. No, you're not. You didn't even like it during the pandemic. All you did was keep them distracted. Actually, you know what? Some of the kids today are graduating a year slower mentally than the kids of yesteryear before COVID, because they was depending on you to educate the children. And we know that you don't know shit. You dumb as fuck. What you gonna do? What you gonna teach your kid? Hey, man, fuck these hoes. Fuck these hoes, bro. Nah, nigga, you don't need no school. All you need to do is get your GED. Nigga, just drop out 9th grade, 10th grade, go take the GED test. And you know what you can do? You get your trade. You can't teach them. Who gonna teach them? You can't teach them. What they gonna ask you? Dad, what's the slope? What's the y-intercept? What's rise over run? What does that mean? Ask ChatGPT. Yeah, ask your mama. Ask your grandma. You can't teach them. You can't teach them. You can't help them. You can't help you. How you gonna help them? What you gonna do? You gonna give them over to Umar Johnson to teach him at his school, the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy? The Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy? Oh, my brothers and sisters, all we need to do is have a paint party. You know what? While they coming for us, we gonna lay this flooring. While they coming for us, we gonna lay this flooring. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, listen, I need y'all to pick. Do you want the red, the black, or the green on the floors? Do you want the red, the black, or the green on the floors? We not gonna let them get in touch with us. We not even gonna let them take our properties. And if they decide that they want to take our properties, we gonna march on City Hall. We're gonna march on City Hall. Ain't y'all tired of marching? Ain't y'all tired of protesting? The more you protest, the more stupid your kids become. The more you protest, the more stupid your kids become. The more you protest, the more stupid your kids become. Have y'all noticed that? And then we send them out into the wild. And then they become baby mamas and baby daddies, and they fuck on each other. Then they become part of the 20,000 statistics that get HIV. And then they procreate, and then they procreate. And then stupid beget stupid, and dumb beget dumb. They see, you know, you got a chick with one tooth looking like a veggie tail, talking about she a baby mama. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the summary of the Black community.